Excellent.
So, as you know, the UK elections are on its way. First of all, I would like to know how's your campaign going on and what are you doing to win this election?
Well, it's been a fantastic campaign so far. In Watford, I've been making sure that I deliver on my promises from the last election. So I've delivered on all of my pledges. So secured the full funding for a new Watford General Hospital, a new police station, and crime is down. I've been helping get funding, £5 million worth of funding to tackle rough sleeping, and we had zero rough sleepers in Watford for a period of time. I had my own personal initiative to train 1,000 people in mental health first aid awareness. It was a private scheme, not a government scheme. We reached the 1,000th person and trainee last year. I've also got my TIPS bill, and so my TIPS bill is a law that I brought in, which is to make sure that workers in hospitality get to keep their tip and gratuity. As of October this year, because of that law, when you pay for a meal at a restaurant and you give a tip at the end, you'll never have to ask if the staff will get to keep it, because 100% of that will go to the staff. Also, I've got worked with the council. I put politics to one side and secured a £16 million levelling up fund for the town hall and for the Colosseum. The Colosseum in Watford, you may not know, but soundtracks like the Lord of the Rings soundtrack were filmed there. So really important part of our town, and many other things. I think my main thing on the doorstep is that, which has been really lovely, is that people know my record of delivery. They've been repeating back to me what I've been doing locally, and it's a really positive feeling, a positive vibe with everyone I've been speaking to.
So, like, if you're elected, what would be the top three policy priorities you'll do for the Watford?
Well, really, it's building on what I've been doing. I want to make sure that the hospital is built based on the funding that I've got. So the plan at the moment is that the groundwork will start in the next year or so, or over the next year. The building should start in 2026 and then completion by 2030. So I want to make sure I continue working with the team on that. I want to do a lot more around my mental health scheme, and also perhaps around mentoring as well, and building an initiative to help support young people across Watford, but also anyone looking for work and build their skills. One of the key things I've been doing the past few years is hosting a joint jobs fair, which has helped people find new skills and new jobs. And then the other thing really is looking at how I can build on my success with the TIPS bill, and with another thing called Zach's Law, where I've changed the law from things that have been happening here in Watford and make sure that's happening to adapt and support the UK. So there's lots of really great stuff to come, but what I am keen to say is that anything that I've said I'll do, I've delivered on, and I'm hopeful that the people of Watford will trust me to continue to do that.
As we all know, the cost of living is rising day by day. So, how do you plan to help residents to cope with this matter?
Well, the reality is on the ground in Watford, we're making sure that there's a lot of investment. So the new hospital, whilst I can't say how much funding we've got, the funding envelope has been reported to be over £1 billion. I can't confirm that, but what I can say is I won't deny it either. So that's over £1 billion hopefully coming to the town. I worked closely with the Warner Brothers Studios, which is just on the border of the new Watford constituency. I've worked with them to make sure we've got investment. They're investing over £200 million into the UK economy, 4,000 new jobs across Watford. We're doing a lot of work to make sure that people who want to get a job can get a job. A lot of investment into the town centre, which is where we've seen this levelling up fund. So my hope is that for those who have been struggling, and I've been out there, I've worked with charities, I've been volunteering since day one within the town. I know the challenges we're facing, but as a community, and especially a fantastic diverse community, I feel very confident that together we'll get through these difficult times. The national picture's shifting very positively. Inflation's come down from over 11% to 2.6%. I'm hopeful we'll get some interest rate cuts. So there's some really, really good stuff happening, and it's coming. And I'll make sure that Watford benefits from all of that.
And what would you like to give the message? Any key message you would like to give to the voters of Watford?
Well, if you want an MP that's going to continue to support our fantastic diverse community, that continues to look after the individuals and put people before politics, someone who makes promises that he intends to deliver on, which is what I've done over the past few years, I just hope that you'll support me to continue not just to be an MP for the area, but continue to serve our community, because I do this role because I believe deeply in public service. I believe deeply in serving our community, and I would just like to have some more years to continue to serve and continue to deliver for our fantastic town of Watford. So thank you for any support.
Yeah. And the last question I would like to ask is that there are different communities who are living in Watford. So why should they vote for you instead of voting for the candidates?
Well, what I would say is look at what I've done rather than what I say. Over the past 4.5 years, I've worked very closely with all of our communities. I've been very fortunate to work closely with many of our Indian community, and in fact, a lot of the work I've done has been interfaith. So I've hosted events in Parliament, interfaith events in Parliament. I've hosted mental health interfaith events in Parliament. I've even produced a painting in my own time of Prabhupada and George Harrison, which I painted and gifted to Back to Deventer Manor to celebrate the 40th anniversary of George Harrison buying Back to Deventer Manor. I think if you speak to most of the communities, in fact hopefully all of them in Watford, you'll find that I've put people first. I work with everyone on an equal basis, and my goal is to make sure that if you live in Watford, you'll live your best life, you'll have the best opportunities, and everything that I've done, hopefully, you don't need to believe me now, I'm not just saying it for the election, look at my track record and hopefully you'll find that I've delivered on everything that I've said I'll be doing.